Greetings everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new to this channel, my name is Advocate Bule Matselo. The purpose of this channel is to preach the word and to teach on the law in South Africa, different topics, especially topics that would affect or impact on the lives of the vulnerable in our society. Please, if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe and share. Today, I'll be briefly talking on the topic domestic violence. This is an international ill. It's a sickness that plagues most societies, if not all societies of the world. This is irrespective of race, irrespective of nationality, irrespective of age, irrespective of creed. It's something that most people in the world live with. Domestic violence, I'm going to define the concept as a part 1 of our discussion. Part 2, I will define domestic relationships, because in South Africa, for you to be able to apply for a protection order, you must be able to prove that there was domestic violence. And secondly, you must be able to prove that you are involved in a domestic, or you must be able to prove that you have a domestic partnership with the perpetrator. Now, I'm going to start by mentioning that domestic violence is a form of what we call GBV, gender-based violence. And I want to start by saying what is not domestic violence. It is not only physical. Most people think that when we talk about domestic violence, because of the use of the word violence, that we're only talking about physical. It's not only physical. In fact, there are 5 different definitions of the concept domestic violence. Number 1, domestic violence is physical. Number 2, it is emotional. Number 3, it is economic. Number 4, it is sexual. Number 5, it is femicide. Now, in order for us to understand these different concepts, I will explain, and also by way of examples. For example, physical violence can be or is a form of domestic violence. This can involve even a threat to violence. This can involve hitting. This can involve punching. This can involve kicking. This can involve slapping. This can involve any kind of physical activity on the life of a person or by a perpetrator who has a domestic relationship with you. Now, that is physical violence. That is the one that is most popular. That is the one that most people have an understanding that if you are treated that way, you are involved in domestic violence in a case where there is a domestic relationship. The second one that falls under the definition of domestic violence is emotional violence. This involves somebody hurting you with words, somebody disrespecting you, somebody embarrassing you, somebody humiliating you, somebody using verbal abuse. So this emotional one is also psychological, because it also works on your self-esteem. An example, as a parent, you can embarrass your children by screaming at them, by saying sour words to them in front of children, and vice versa. The children can embarrass a parent by being disrespectful to them, to the parents. The partners can embarrass each other, can humiliate each other, can use very, very painful words, can use words that are verbally abusive towards each other. They can torture you psychologically. You know, a popular example that I like to make is where a child stays with you, and this child goes out. He stays for the whole night, and you as a mother Say, for example, you are a single mother, not that you have to be a single mother. You sleep the whole night, not knowing where is this child. Are you able to be in a position to sleep? No, obviously you won't sleep because you don't know where the child is. They are having fun wherever they are. And here you are trying to sleep and you are being tortured. You can't even fall asleep because you don't know where your child is. Are they safe wherever they are? What are they doing? A partner can also do the same. You are seated there as a woman, sleeping, trying to sleep. You can't fall asleep. The partner is not there. You are beginning to have pictures in your mind, or maybe he's doing this, or maybe he's doing that. You move from being angry to being worried. Maybe what if he's involved in an accident? That is emotional or psychological abuse. The third one, as I mentioned earlier on, it's economic abuse, where somebody is not taking the responsibility that he's supposed to take financially to maintain the family, or where he or she abuses the financial, the money of the family. He's not responsible. He's abusing his money. She's abusing her money because it can come from either side. Though in most instances we say in the male, perpetrators are males. So this is a situation where, for example, a woman is working in a family business and is not being paid. You just work and work and you are not being remunerated for what you are doing. And also where the money is being misused. Those are examples of economic violence. The fourth one is sexual violence. Example is rape. This is domestic violence. Rape is rape even when it happens in a marital relationship. Because rape, legally speaking, is defined as sexual intercourse without consent. It does not matter, even if you are married to that person, even if there is no consent, it is rape, and it becomes, or it is a form of sexual violence. Not only rape, sexual positions. There are partners who demand sexual positions during sexual intercourse which other partners are not comfortable with. That is sexual violence. Sexual harassment, sexual exploitation, trafficking, where people have been trafficked for purposes of sexual, for sexual purposes. That is sexual violence. The last one, the extreme form of gender-based violence, is femicide. Femicide involves the killing of a female partner by a male partner. This is very, very rife in South Africa. There are high-profile cases in South Africa regarding this issue of femicide, where female partners are being killed by their male partners. This is as far as I can go today with domestic violence. This is how it is defined in terms of the Act. Part 2, I will define domestic relationships, and then from there we will move to, as Part 3, how do you secure a protection order once you have established that, number one, there is domestic violence committed against you. It can be any of the 5 that I have mentioned, and that the perpetrator in that instance has a domestic relationship, because it can be very embarrassing, or a person can suffer secondary victimization. If you think that you have been sexually abused, or it is true that you are you are involved in a domestic violence relationship, but only to establish at the later stage that yes, you may have been raped, you may have been emotionally abused, you may have been economically abused, but you don't have a domestic relationship with that person. Because for it to be classified as a domestic violence, which will entitle you to get a protection order at a later stage, you must be able to prove that there is a domestic relationship between you and the perpetrator. So next time, as our part 2 of this discussion, we will discuss briefly what is domestic relationship in terms of the Domestic Violence Act. And then as part 3, we will discuss how do you approach the court? How can the court assist you to secure the protection order? I hope you find this helpful. Thank you very much for being part of this video. Please share, please like, please subscribe, and God bless you.